captured like that. So you take them off that way. And you're going to want something to catch the oil as they leak out. These guys you can get with a socket. It's, let's see, it's a, what's this one? 15/16 fits that guy. As long as you get a good impulse on it, it won't spin that shaft. Then it should just come off once loosened. Of course, the first time I did this, it was an absolute pain. And it had been on there for, I don't know, 30 years or something like that. I've had it off now, I don't know, 4 or 5 times in the last few months. Initially, I had to get a pry bar out to get that guy off. I might need to do it again. I think I got it. We'll see what I can do. Loosen the other ones up first. This guy back here, I can't get a socket on, so we got a big old wrench. You get it spinning, it's not too bad. Nope, nope. See if that's loose enough. Nope. Go. That side is out. The tip, I took the nut off of there, took the bits off. Now it's just this piece, which I can sometimes get free. Sometimes I gotta go get a tool for. Yeah, I'm gonna go get a thing. I got this guy down at the Harbor Freight. First time I did this job because I could not get this guy free. I should be able to just pop it in there, get an angle on it. I think I need to do it with 2 hands here. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to get this in here and then wedge it free, hit it with a hammer, and that should pop it free. A couple of taps and she's free. It's tapered and it tends to stick a little, but not too bad. Now this whole thing, it's free there, it's free there. That guy's tapered as well, so you think I needed to do that the first time too. This time it just fell out, so we're good. I've already taken the nut off there, so the whole thing just lifts right out now. And we're gonna let it drain for just a minute. Get that out. Not making so much mess in the garage. Let's just come out these two holes with the valve. Have this thing apart here. All right, I'm gonna take it in. So when it leaks, it's leaking from here. As you can tell, I've had this wiper gasket out a couple of times. This is actually a replacement. There's no way to get it out without mangling the heck out of it. But we're going to do that again. Since it popped, I've got to reseat the gaskets underneath there. And then there's probably something stuck in the valve, keeping it from regulating the pressure appropriately and causing it to pop over and over again. But first thing I'm going to do is take this guy out, because I know it needs to be reseated, and then we'll get the rest of that valve apart. Best way to do that is with some picks. These guys, maybe one of these. I've been at it a few times now. It's not too bad, but that first time it took me days to get that out. I was concerned about breaking it and whatnot. And not anymore. Just get in there, you dig it out. This gasket's going to get ruined. Probably should have mentioned the goal here. There's a lip, this metal lip here, that the gasket or the wiper, when pressed down enough, its outer ring will go underneath the lip and hold it in. Now, if you can, try to preserve the inner wiper. That's what does all the work. And as long as that's still good, you can reuse this guy, even if it's all mangled, as long as there's enough to hold it in behind that lip. So you can pull it out, you know, slide your pick around, and get that guy out. Then try to preserve that one. That's our goal. Once you get your pick underneath it, if you get two of them, you can wrap around. You can see I've mangled the heck out of it, but the inner wiper is still intact there, so we might be able to reuse this guy. And that's what it looks like once it's out. And under here you'll find a snap ring. That's a replacement one, and a washer. So we're gonna inspect that, take it out, and there's another gasket under there that needs to be reseated once it starts leaking. For that, a pair of snap ring pliers. Let's see if I can do this with the camera on. Not really. That guy out. And then getting this washer out can be a pain, but the easiest way I've found to do it is just turn it upside down and see if it falls out. If it doesn't, cut up Coke can or something like that. You can slide between the washer and the rim and tighten it up and pull it out. But first, let's just try turning it over. All right, yeah. Taking it, turning it over, and then tapping it on the ground a little bit. Got that metal washer out. Now there's a fiber gasket underneath that. We're gonna pick that out carefully. All right, with the fiber washer out, you can see, oh man, if I could focus, the gasket that's really doing the work. And I don't know if you can see very well, but right here you can see that it's popped out of where it should be. So we're just gonna take this out, wipe it off, and reseat it. Inspect it, and reseat it. Got that out, and there's something white in there. It should not be, I don't know what that is. Shouldn't be like that. And then we have a little nick out of the edge. Just not very good either. Unfortunately, they don't. It's really hard to get a hold of these gaskets anymore. So we're gonna see what we can do about that. There, after you get that gasket out, there is a spreader down in here, and you can see there's a little tiny hole on both sides of that, and you can get your pick in that little hole and lift this guy out. I'm gonna do that right now. Just gonna inspect in there, see what we see. I don't know. Can't see much. Apart from it having some little bit of gunk in there, wipe out. I don't know. I don't see any major scratches or missing pieces or anything like that. I've got a little rust spot right there. Maybe it's hard to focus in on that. Maybe the root cause of my persistent issue. Let's see if I can smooth that out a little bit. All right. So these are the ones I just took out. The bottom here. These are the ones I came with my tractor. I took out a couple months ago. This guy's gone in back and forth a number of times. You can see it's seen a better days. And it's what, one point or two it had bent as it popped out, so I had been hammering it back. This guy came with one of the replacement kits, and it is significantly thicker. It's hard to tell, but it's a fair bit thicker than the other one, and it doesn't seem to have bent when it popped this time. The kit it came with, it was a little bit cheaper than the rest of them and shipped from the UK, but none of the gaskets fit quite right. This washer was just a hair too small. Ended up drilling it out after that guy bent, last time. So this guy's, not the best shape, but all it needs to do is hold everything down for the retaining ring to seal. So that's the key guy there. Now this guy, it's hard to see, but there's a chunk out of it, the edge here, and that's probably important. So I think I'm going to look through this guy that came out of it the first time, and it looks like it's in better shape. Not great shape, but this is the back of it. Edges are what's important, particularly this inner edge, and you can tell here that it's in pretty good shape compared to this guy. This edge right there's maybe problematic. Who knows? I'm gonna clean up the original one and put it back in, and hope that everything works. We'll see. Alright, so I've cleaned that guy up about as much as I can. It's still a little stiff, but we're going to try lubing it up a little bit with some of this stuff I've got laying around. I use it to rejuvenate some old O-rings on kegs and whatnot. So hopefully it'll work here. A little bit of lube helps get it seated, especially since I've wiped out all of the hydraulic fluid. It's not a lot keeping it in there, or helping it go in smoothly. So I'm going to lube it up with this stuff, and hopefully that helps get it in, and hopefully that helps it maintain its seal. So now we're just going to pack this back in the opposite order it came in. So first goes the spreader, and it pops down in there, and then I'm going to take this gasket I've greased up a bit, and it goes down there, groove side down. We want to gently work it down so that we don't ruin it. I'm going to need maybe 2 hands for that. Nope, okay. There's a couple of flats on the ridge I don't want to get. There we go. I'm going to push that down with not the sharp end, but the round end of this. And you got to work in the edges. I don't know if you can kind of see that. There's a groove here, and you need this to go down underneath that, so it'll fold down. So I'm just going to take the tip and just work the edge. So I'm not using the tip on the gasket, just right on the edge of it. I don't know, it's hard to show. I'm just going to push it in, slide it in. So I need 2 hands for that. All right, I ended up using a punch, like a nail driver or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but it's got a bit of a flat, kind of rounded head, so I can prod at it without damaging the gasket. And your goal is to get it flush with this little ring right there. So you want it to be pressed down all the way around. Flat, flush, so that it looks as good as it can. Once that's good, we're going to put in paper gasket. This guy. I don't know, I've got 2 of them. I've got the old one, which looks like that. It's not in terrible shape. The new one, it was way too thick when I got it. It's about as thick as that metal washer, and it wouldn't fit. So I trimmed them down, and you can tell now it's a little bit thinner. I think that might be part of the problem, so I'm going to try putting in this older one again. See if I can get it in this time, because the more pressure you have against that gasket, the better, and this thicker paper gasket's going to help retain this rubber one down here, and that's really the guy that does the job. So I'm going to try getting that guy in. I don't know if it matters which side it goes down into, but got a little cat here. I'm going to get that off there. All right. And again, gentle, so that you don't mess with the threads, or you don't want to scratch it. Rotating helps. Get it down over those bits, and I'm just gonna again push it down. Till it is nice and seated. And again, you should see another lip in there, and it should seat right in that little groove. Yeah. So there's a little bit of another indent. It's going to seat in there. The washer's going to fill up this gap here, and then there's going to be a snap ring that sits in this groove right there. So we need the paper gasket down right right on top of that rubber one, so that the metal one can sit in the groove. Oh. The metal one's wiped off. There aren't any burrs on it. See if there's a side that's flatter than the other. I don't know. The edges are all combed up, but that's not terribly relevant. The important part is that it holds everything down. Put that back in. Push it down. Hopefully it's down relatively flat. So get that snap ring on. This is not the original snap ring. This is a replacement one. Yeah, from we got that snap ring in, and it's seated into the groove there. You want to make sure it's seated all the way around. Hard to tell, but I think it is. And then you can put your wiper back on. I'm just going to kind of sit it in there because it's, well, you know what? Maybe I snapped it in. All right, well, it's back in there now. Might as well lock her in place. So just get the get enough of the mangled bits around underneath the metal edge so that it doesn't come out when you extend the rod, and it'll do the job of keeping gunk from getting in there. This is the part that's important, and it's not all mangled, so we're going to leave it as is and take apart the valve, see how it goes. All right, now we're going to disassemble the valve here and inspect it, clean it. There's a rod in there I think might be problematic. So the first thing we're going to do is just take these boots off. They come up over. I'm told that they don't be careful with them. I have not found any place that has spares. And then these 4 bolts come out, and this whole thing will come off, and we'll get in there. All right, with those bolts out, this thing just comes apart. How this works is there's the 2 holes there, an alignment pin. That's your pushing and pulling, if you will. They go in down here, and there's channels down the side that allow hydraulic fluid to work that piston. This part's your valve. We'll get that apart here in a second to see more about it. Last time I had this apart, this whole thing was just full of grease, like just oozing out, filling this whole thing, preventing it from moving very, very easily, which was, I think, part of my problem. That doesn't look like it's happening this time, which is great. But I'm just going to see if I can get that valve apart and see if there's anything more I can get to. All right. So once the bolts are out, there's a retaining bit here that held it together. This housing slides off, and this is the real heart of your valve. It's got some grease on this bit here. But what's going to happen is this, as you work the steering, it pushes on this rod, and that pushes this this in and out of this housing. You can see has some channels in it, and those channels align with those holes and allow the fluid to go in or out. Cannot see very well down there. There you go. You can see some of those channels. As you push that guy in and out, it's going to let fluid flow in different directions. All right, so I'm going to inspect that, make sure there's nothing stuck in there. And while I was taking it apart, this guy dropped out. Might be why I was having some issues. It looks like a husk of something, maybe? No idea. But it came out as I pulled this guy apart. So we're gonna do an inspection and see what we can find. Now, if you are servicing this, there are a few O-rings that you could possibly inspect and replace. There's one here. There's one in here, right there. And then there's a couple here. And this guy, this little thing, comes out. I'm gonna have to try to get that out because I think there might be something going on in there. But see if I can get that out, and there should be some O-rings on that also need to be looked at. Now I've got a little chip of paint right here. When I took this part the first time, somebody had painted it, painted the shaft, and there was little chips of paint just all through the hydraulic system, which has been a major pain to clear out. Now there's not so much this time, which means probably gotten most of it out, but they can cause problems, and that it's probably stuck in some relief valve somewhere I've got to find and clean out. All right, so inside that was this pin and that little ball, and the service manual says that when you take this guy apart, you're supposed to inspect this ball for any dents or dings or flat spots and replace it as needed. I don't see any, so I'm going to wipe it off, put it back in. I am going to lubricate that O-ring while I'm in here. I don't know. Wipe out everything, see if I can find anything else that could be causing a problem. But, yeah, see if I can get that looped up and replaced so it moves a little bit more smoothly. Maybe that'll help. So I took all the O-rings out, lubed them up, put them back in, cleaned out everything I could find. I didn't see anything that was suspicious, but who knows? It wouldn't be the first time I've taken something apart, put it back together, and it worked. But that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to get this guy mounts back in here, and then those bolts go back on, and we'll give her a go. We're back together. All right, so this is the power steering reservoir. With the hood off, it's easier to get to things. You can fill it from the other side. It just requires a big ass funnel, big funnel that I don't know. That's super annoying. I ended up just getting a hose and a pump, and I just pump it in from the other side. But hopefully it'll be fixed now soon. It is difficult to access from the other side where the hood hinge is open. So I took it off to get better access and see what's going on here. I think we're just going to take this bolt off and take this cap off and see what's inside there. That's what I'm going to do. I don't really see anything else that is going to be a thing. I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna take it off and find out. All right, so that lid came off. This is the filter, so let's see how bad it is. Not great, but I don't see like chunks of stuff that I was kind of expecting to see in there. Oh. In fact, everything kind of looks pretty clean. Yeah. Well, if I had another one, I'd replace it right now. There are some. Oh golly, it's hard to see in here. There are some bits. Yeah, but that's not. It's not too bad. If it was real bad, we'd see a bunch of stuff just in there, and I don't. So we're gonna put it all back together, give her another go. Everything's dirty. It's hard to do with one hand. Around. Super dirty hands. Tighten down again. All right. Well, I don't know. There's this little kind of aluminum looking nut there. I think that's the pressure valve release. I don't know. I did take it off. It looked fine, although there were, I was expecting like a ball or something at the end of it. There's just a spring. So maybe something stuck in there. It's really hard to access with the front end on. I don't know. If somebody does know, please leave a comment. I'd love to find out. In the meantime, we're gonna put this guy back together, at least put the steering back on, fill it up, and see if she leaks anymore.